Greetings. Hey, it's Susie. Working out of the RV on a Saturday morning. Just got out here. The birds are twerping. I'm going to open up this little screen thing. So cute. Anyway, every morning the birds are out. It's just amazing. Drinking a nice whey protein drink. I noticed that when I put it on the table, it makes a big, loud crashing sound. And I want you to know that I noted that and I'm gently placing it down. Very good. All right, so I'm gonna, in a continuation of this kind of cool muse that came into my life, and this was a couple days ago. Excuse me, I've got an itchy nose. Anyway, a friend of mine, it's kind of a story here, but a friend of mine contacted me about seeking some guidance on creating abundance in her life, and then we visited briefly on the phone, and was really about noticing what's showing up that is showing there is abundance. The next day, less than 24 hours, she called and said she had a job opportunity. I'm like, whoa! So then I sat down and I thought, well, I mean, we are all looking to grow and expand in different ways. And so I went ahead and wrote a list of 41 questions about possibly creating a more expansive or opening for creating abundance in your life. And so I really thought it was something that I could break down every day, to take one question a day and break it down and see what's going on. Okay, now I hear the neighbors over there. I don't want to scare them that there's some ghost in the RV, so I'm going to just close this real quietly. Okay, so I'm going to get started, and I do read from my written material. I wake up every morning with inspired thought. In fact, yesterday when I was thinking about, this is question number 2, I had already wrote something, but then I always go, no, I want to wake up fresh and see what comes in. And that's what I do. That's how I work the energies. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this up and I'm going to read. And again, if you're new to the YouTube channel, I have to read because I go real squirrel super duper easily. It's real fun, but it's the view I have. I get to see all kinds of nature. So, with that being said, I'll get started. All right, so here we are. This is entry number 2, 33118. Today we begin to break down attraction 41 questions via podcast and video that actually began on 32918. All of these are filmed and shown at YouTube channel Holistic Healing Community by Susie Jervich. That's me. Do subscribe to follow this complimentary offering of how to tune into attracting your desired goal, intent, or juicy, groovy new vibe. Before we get started, one more swig. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Ever have a moment when you decide to upgrade your questions? Ever notice that you attract something new by reframing your question? Ever notice how your body feels by attracting something new? What if you decide to ask better questions? Okay, so here we go. Question 2 of 41. How would your life be different if you reframed your thoughts into action by simply changing your mind? And here is a 3-point sampling. Number 1, witness your life as an observer. Let's say for fun, I'm all about fun, you decide to play a game with yourself. You decide to begin looking at yourself as if you were in a theater seat watching a play of your own life. Again, you are in the seat observing. All the while, you are the actor. You're the director, the writer, the set designer, the costume maker, the composer, the audio genius. Let's see, I didn't add in here, but you do the set. You create all of the beautiful art for the set. Okay, anyway, so you get the gist of all that. From this unique perspective, you may find yourself noting patterns from each aspect of yourself in the various roles. Ah, theater, the grand illusion and illuminator, all in one, quite literally. All in one, meaning you create. Number 2, notice patterns. You may remember the movie Groundhog Day. This film deeply illustrates the continual patterns that the character portrayed. Shifts in awareness as the character all of a sudden begins to notice mishaps repeatedly occurring at the same location, same time, and same feeling related to the mishap. Bam! Da 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 dum! The pattern has been busted. Continual loop on this scenario dissolves as the pattern buster comes in and has saved the day. The character in this film realized he was living the same day over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, meaning you notice. Number 3, change a fraction of a pattern. 1, 2, 3, here we go. This is a fun place to operate from when you begin to awaken to playing with the idea of a slight course correct. By simply shifting a fraction of a degree to realize a whole new outcome, you learn that even a slight adjustment in energetic streams is enough to create an incredibly amazing result. Sometimes people believe that once they begin to change the pattern, that they need to do a polar opposite exchange. Now, this is okay too, of course. We are suggesting, however, that you begin to make the fractional degrees of course correct. From this vantage point, you see that it's quite simple and it's often a quick change of observable action, like a blink of an eye. Okay, so here's an example. From the movie Groundhog Day, Bill Murray, the character, noticed he stepped in a puddle every day on his way to work. One day, when he approached that same puddle of water, he, number 1, observed the puddle. Number 2, noticed it was there again. And number 3, he changed his stride to step around the puddle. Okay, so I'm going to read this one more time. So here's using all 3 sample tips for changing your mind. One day, when he approached that same puddle of water, he, number 1, observed the puddle. Number 2, noticed it was there again. That's the pattern. And number 3, changed his stride to step around the puddle. Observe, notice pattern, degree of change, pattern loop. Be gone. It be gone. It is out of the field of awareness. All right, so that is complete for today on question number 2. So tomorrow we will cover question number 3. Do you journal? All right, so wow. So, God, there's so much to be said for that. That Groundhog Day, I remember seeing that a long time ago, and I kind of thought it was, I don't know, I wasn't real impressed. I don't know how long ago it came in, but I wasn't completely awake to all of those thoughts and ideas. And now, when I look at things, I really remember that movie, that every day he started noticing that he was living the same life over and over again through patterns. And that movie really came up to me this morning. And so, on that question about how do we change, how do you change your mind? How can you reframe something? I use the word reframing a lot. It's simply by beginning to look at things a different way. And a lot of times when I work with my body, I'm all about the body, all about the body. I look at doing things different, and what I do is I first notice that maybe I'm eating the same foods or doing the same thing and not really stepping out. So that's like me first beginning just to kind of observe my patterns of behavior, and then just really start just noticing what's showing up there. And then what I do is I slowly just do a little bit of just a slight margin of a course correct. And I just really kind of ask myself, what do I need to do with this body, with the body? And sometimes I get a call to try something different. And again, I've talked about it several times, working with the roots, the ginger root, turnip root, beetroot, all these different roots come in. And so that right there is just kind of like waking up and going, wow, I'm kind of doing the same thing over and over again. What can I infuse into my body? And also, related to the body on another course correct that I did. So for a number of years, I've had like some funny, like, I see this right here. This is like a little bit of, I don't know if it's called psoriasis or I don't even know what it is. So I've been like doing all these things to kind of look at how do I clear that up. So, early one morning, I was watching a TED talk. I can't remember which one, but this woman was talking about, she was a brain doctor. So, I don't even know what kind. Anyway, she was talking about people with skin things going on that that you can treat it, and then you have moments of kind of like remission, or where it's kind of stabilized and not inflamed or chronic situation, but it doesn't ever really seem to make it go away. And then what I really was really digging is that they're using some form of hypnosis to go in with these people with different, and she had 3 case studies, and these people had different experiences where there would be dormancy with whatever the skin condition was. And then certain things or triggers, they were noticing there were triggers that were causing any kind of inflammation of the skin itself. And so through hypnosis, they were able to go in there and find maybe the initial cause of the onset of trauma. And I was just like, wait a minute. And this was like 3 days ago from today. So, because I've been over here, like, I'm pretty good at curing different things within my own body system. But this stuff right here, see, right now it's good because I'm practicing what I saw on that TED talk. Anyway, so I thought, well, maybe if that's the case, for me. And so I have been really observant that noticing what happens when I feel like it needs to be, if I need like, it gets itchy. Okay. So what I do now is I do a pattern interrupt, where I interrupt the pattern of, oh God, something happened. What was I feeling in that moment where I felt like I needed to scratch it? And then what I do is I stop, I pause, because for me, it almost feels like something feels traumatized to me. And instead of me just loving myself, like loving myself, I go over here and hurt myself by creating more of an inflammation by scratching it. Okay. And so my friends back in Houston have known I've been kind of working with this for a number of years. So there's something about self-love is what I came up with related to this stuff. Now I have it here, I have it on the back of my neck and up here. Sometimes when I'm doing work with it, energy work and stuff, it starts tingling, and I just do is I tap it, and that seems to neutralize that sensation. Anyway, so I don't know that I wasn't hypnotized or anything like that, but I was really like looking at when something triggers me, I go to this spot, I scratch it. I am aware that when I'm doing that, it's creating more of a problem here, and it's actually opening things up and getting really red and inflamed. So in a way, I'm kind of like harming myself by doing that. So then I looked at, okay, well, I don't. Again, I didn't do the hypnosis. I don't know what the trauma was, but I am looking at, instead of doing this like da 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 da, I'm like, I love myself. I love myself. I don't wish to hurt myself. I love my body. I love myself. I love you and you and you. But that's kind of what came up from watching that TED talk. So, I'm looking around all over for more inspiration, and also looking around all over to find out, what's next on my horizon as far as changing my mind about how I view things. Changing my mind about how I view things, Now, certainly I have some salve on here or something like that just to kind of cool that down. But I'm changing my mind about how I view things. And on this little thing right here, I've changed my mind, and I'm like basically saying I love myself. I absolutely love myself. I'm not going to hurt my body. I'm not going to do anything to hurt myself. And I'm aware when I do. I'm awake to that. Hmm. So that's all I got for you, juicy co-creators. You have a most beautiful and blessed blue moon, full moon. Take care.